Adam Lowery, owner of Madcap's Comedy Club, comedian, host, MC extraordinaire. Yeah, hosting a comedy show, man, like I was saying, I think it's probably the most underrated spot on the lineup. You know, back in the day, the headliner used to host, right? That's who they paid to come see. So the headliner would come up, he would open the show, then he'd bring up his guests, right, or friends of his that were on that show, and then he would come back up and headline and close it out, because that's who you paid to see. And then, like, over time, you know, bar shows, and they found a way to save money, and it just sort of changed. And now you find, you know, if you're at a bar show, something like that, or even a real small club show, something like that, especially open mics, you see people in those rooms, they just give up the host spot to either an up-and-comer or even a newbie sometimes. And I think that destroys the show if they don't know what they're doing, right? That's not that newbies can't kill it. That host can make or break a show. That I know a lot of headliners and features, especially a guy like yourself's been around doing comedy, can speak to. You know, that host it's a scary spot, right? Because you gotta, it's just a flat crowd, right? They're dead, they're ready, and it's up to you to bring up that energy. And if that host gets up there and doesn't do that, man, it sets the tone for the rest of the show, right? Then the guest spot of the feature's gotta pull themselves out of a hole that you created on accident, right? But if that host can nail it, if he can create that energy, get everybody hyped and going, well, it makes the guest spot, the feature, it makes their jobs that much easier. And then it's on them to keep that wave going and bring it to the headliner, man. The host is so important, and it's so overlooked. You know, in comedy, it's what, open micer, guest spot, you know, feature, headliner, it's open mic, guest spot, host, feature, headliner. And I think people are wrong about that. I think it's feature, host, headliner. That's what I think. Because as a feature, yeah, you're going to go do your 20, 30 that you always do, that you know, maybe pepper in a new joke here and there. And that's what you do. As a host, you're taking a flat crowd. You don't know what it's going to be. You can't just go into material because people recognize that, right? I always talk about, if you're a host, imagine if you had a party at your house and people were coming over, and then as soon as they came over, you were just like, hey, so we're gonna do this, right? It's like, hey, welcome, I'm this is my house, man, how are you doing, right? Making everybody feel warm, comfortable, ready to laugh, you know, and getting it warmed up to do that, man. And like I said, I think that host spot is seriously overlooked these days. And, you know, to speak further on it, as a host, when I host, I've developed more as a comedian, hosting all the nights that I do, way more than I ever did doing open mics or even featuring or guest spotting, any of that. I've developed way more, you know, and I host here at Madcap's Comedy Club as much as I can, you know, Wednesday through Saturday most of the time. And in doing so, it's allowed me to feel different crowds, feel different energies, learn bad habits that I have, develop good habits, try new jokes just to play around for a minute, get crowd work, right? Because crowd work helps you feel energy too. So I would encourage anybody out there, is like, if you're just focusing on featuring, period, I think you're doing yourself an injustice. I think you're missing out on a lot of time that you could get better and improve faster than you could just trying to hopefully get on a featured spot somewhere. And if you're guest spotting and you're killing your 10 minutes at that guest spot, start begging for some host spots. And if you're just starting out, and you know you're just starting out, you're not that good, I don't recommend hosting right away, because people will see you do a bad job hosting and go, mm-mm. And you'll fall down a couple notches, you know.
All right, thanks, Adam. I appreciate the interview, man.
Henry, thanks for closing the show tonight, man.